Hey everybody, it's the third day of March 2025, so 3, 3, and a 9. So it's a magnification of the 3. So that's kind of an interesting numerology today. Uh, let's see. Everything's just not right here today. Anyway, I'm Jan Erickson and this is As Above, So Below. Let's go ahead and take a rune here. I had to reboot my computer because the video was jumpy, so I just decided to start all over. Here we have Laguz. Now Laguz is the 21st rune of the Elder Futhark, which is a 3 numerology, which aligns with the month and the day. So we've got some 3s going on here, or a magnification of it with the 2025. Laguz is about flow, and it's about flow from spirit. It comprises I was, which is if you were to just put another line right here, that would be I was, and it's literally Laguz in a vortex fashion. So really bringing in higher awareness into your reality here, your physical reality. But Laguz is it's about intuition and flow and clairsentience. It's a very intuitive type of a experience here. It can be used in trance work or dream work. It's about emotional balance. You can use it if you're empathic, when you're visualizing the energetic connections you've made or others have tried to make with you, using it as after you allow them to dissolve, you can then use it, chant Laguz softly to bring what your energy that's left back to you. And so that's kind of an interesting thing to do with Laguz. But again, it's it's real similar to the High Priestess card in a way in the Major Arcana, because you're looking at the subconscious realm with it. And but again, it's letting higher awareness flow into your physical reality and seeing things from that perspective, and using that type of empathic awareness or intuition to be able to understand things a little bit differently than simply from the superficial external type of experience. Let's put these in the order of fire, air, water, and earth. Where is earth? There's fire. So we have Caput Draconis here. The Draconi, Caput and Kata. Caput is the north node of the moon influence, so the future and being on the threshold of new experiences. Kata would be its opposite or complement, and that would be past life and karma influencing. But here you have the head of the dragon versus the tail of the dragon with Kata. Here you have the head, which is Caput, and Caput Draconis is going to be on the threshold of new experiences, things that are going to influence your future, or the influence of the future on what you're doing now. You could look at it that way. And Laguz would suggest then that your intuition is going to be strongly impacting whatever decisions you make about the future today. Let's take a look at the cards, though. I've already shuffled quite a bit. I do that before I get started, but then I do a little more. And since I've already started this once, they're pretty shuffled, I think. So let's cut the deck, and I'll take the lower half and draw 3 cards. Well, we have a run on wands here in the fire element, and then we have a card from swords. We don't have anything from the Major Arcana and nothing from the court. So you have very active. Let's talk first about wands and swords. Wands, again, is the fire element. Swords is the air element. That's going to be a very projective, active type of energy with both of those. They share that together. Earth and water, which would be pentacles and cups, they're a more passive influence or receptive influence. So this would be very projective, very out front, very action-oriented. And in some ways, it's very assertive versus maybe stepping back and being maybe a little more passive and just watching, and being more reflective about what you do. So the interesting part here is we have we have with the swords, we have the 3 of swords, we also have the 5 of wands, and then the 3 of wands. And so they're bookending with threes, which is interesting because of the numerology, ultimate numerology of Laguz is 3, and we're in the 3rd month and the 3rd day. So a lot of 3 energy here in this reading. Obviously, we're going to go ahead and I'll do the numerology here before we go any further. So we said 21 for Laguz, and we have 3 plus 3, plus 5 of wands, plus 3 of wands. So that's 32, and that comes out to 5. 3 and 2 is 5. Let's just do that one more time to be certain. So 21 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3 is 32. Yeah. Okay. So 5 is about change. It's also about protection, innovation, variety. But mostly when I see a 5, there's a change that's happening and that you might want to protect yourself a little bit from. Or at least protect what you have while the change is happening. And so we're going to begin with the 3 of swords. Here we have, this is generally speaking, a card of betrayal. You see 2 swords here behind the center one. You see rain coming down, so you see an aspect of the water element here as well. And again, with water, there's change involved. Here, something integrative has happened that maybe this is a love triangle. Maybe it's something's happening at work or with your friends or something where in a group where maybe people are trying to undermine you. It could be something like that type of betrayal. If it's a love triangle, then maybe the 2 behind the center one are the ones that are cheating on the center one, basically. And it's very emotional. Kind of hard to and so you're having to integrate a balance between the emotional side of this, because it hurts when you're betrayed, obviously, and that's emotional, versus trying to come to something to understand the situation from a rational way, which is hard to do when emotions are involved, right? And so with Laguz, you want to use your intuition to try to understand the situation in a way where you're not as maybe you're a little more ready for the rest of the information to come out, because a lot of the time when this happens, you're getting the initial information that such and such happened, or this happened. If it's at work and you've got a couple of colleagues that are trying to undermine you or something so that they get the attention from the boss instead of you, for example, there's more details to all of it, and more will come out at some point. It doesn't, you can think in terms of the rain coming down as washing it clean, but that's not the case. Obviously something's happening where you need to understand more about what's going on. And so it can't just simply be being caught up in your emotions on it. Here you have with the 5 of wands, this is an interesting card. It looks bad, doesn't it? It looks like they're hitting one another, but they're not. If you look really closely at this card, and I've done it with a big magnifying glass to be absolutely sure of what I'm thinking here, but it's like everybody is asserting their own ideas and their own creative solutions, maybe. That would be a very wands type of thing, or a very fire element sort of thing. But nobody's really listening to one another. So you've got some innovation and variety going on here. So there's maybe some creative conflict or a creative clash going on with some undermining here, maybe. So maybe after the undermining, this is when the creative clash comes out, because people ultimately know what happened. And so now, it's not really an argument, but everybody's got their own opinion. Everybody's got their own ideas, and everybody's got their own solution, but and it's changing the dynamic of things. Then I see the Three of Wands, where it looks like he's stepped through a doorway of sorts made by these two wands. He's holding on to his other staff by these, well, they're staffs is what they are, but it's the suit of wands. It's expressed that way. And here it's, you see the ships here in the bay right here, even though it's yellow, but it's the bay of new opportunities, basically. And in the two, you see him looking in a different direction, but you also see the backside of him where he's got the two staffs there, and he's holding a globe in his hand, right? And so he's choosing what his future is going to be, and he's stepping through the doorway into that, or about to. And here he has, because he's made the decision. Two is about decisions. Well, in the three, he's made the decision, and now he's waiting for his decision to manifest. Essentially, he looks like a merchant, and so he could be a businessman that after whatever happened here, some betrayal, he took his own ideas, because nobody seems to be listening to his anymore, so the dynamic has changed, and now he's made another decision in the two that you don't see, and then in the three, he's standing there waiting for that the fruits of all of that to manifest. And so the integration then becomes in his own integration. Instead of relying on that with other people, he's decided to make his own decisions and move forward in a different direction that could be lucrative in this regard. So even though there isn't a pentacle here anywhere from anything from the suit of pentacles, this could be something that whatever went on here, if it was a love triangle or not, or if it was just, people you trusted. The swords is about trust and deception. People maybe, again, in your career life, perhaps, have undermined you to the point that it just seems like a change needs to happen. One where you're not relying on the integration with other people to make something happen, that now it's time to do that on your own. Does that make sense? And again, you're going to trust your intuition with Lagus, and you're going to feel like you're on the threshold of new beginnings with Kappa Trichonis. And so the catalyst might have been very uncomfortable, and some realization after that you made, where it's like, I'm in this group of people where I don't think my ideas are being respected. And so maybe I can either, get another job or start something on my own or what have you. But I'm going to go and do something else. And you've made the decision in the unseen two of wands, and now you're ready to move on and see what happens, because you're on the threshold of something new happening. And it could be something more lucrative than where you've been, something where you don't have to rely on the input of other people and trying to negotiate with people all the time that in reality are undermining you. So I'm just going to read this as something that's work related and not maybe it did break your heart, that you really liked where you were and you realized that, this is just not going to work. And you understand the dynamic differently after this catalyst happened. But this needs to happen first. It's going to push you outside your comfort zone. You're going to understand it in a different way, and a change is going to happen. And then you walk through the door into something new that Kappa Trichonis is talking about. So anyhow, I think that's it. I don't think we need another card. It'd be interesting if I pulled the two, but we don't need it. It's just implied. And sometimes, in tarot, you've got to look at what was the card before, what was the buildup, in other words, to this. And so clearly a decision got made. It's implied because there's the two here. And now you're waiting to see what happens. So, and it looks like something good's going to happen. So that I think it's a positive reading, even though it starts out, a little upsetting maybe. But sometimes we need things like this to happen to catalyze a new experience, to motivate us to move in a different direction. And I think that this reading suggests that. So anyhow, I hope that resonates in some way. And if not, hang on to it, because it it may it may resonate in the near future. Lots of things are up and down for people right now that are losing their jobs, and they don't know what their future holds, and it's really scary, and it looks like there's going to be more of that coming, where some decisions will need to be made, and hopefully, people survive all of it. So anyway, not a good time. A lot of betrayal that's going on, and I think that's only going to get worse. So anyhow, hang in there, everybody. Stay alert, stay informed. Make sure you truly understand what's going on, and whether it's regarding this situation or what's happening in our country and in the world. Make sure you understand what the truth is, and and if your intuition is saying, "Hey, I got to make a big change on how I live and how I do things," and then this could be talking about that too. So anyhow. Thanks a lot for watching. Over at the blog, there's the forecast is out, the correspondences are out. I'll write this up as well, and there'll just be some reading notes on it if you want to look at that. There'll also be a link to the video if you need to go back to that or something at some point. You can just go right there and grab that link. It's just at the top there. And also I'll put it on the side panel of the blog as well over at Stepping Aside. The web address is imsteppingaside.com. If you forget, click on more below the video, and a box will open, and it's right there at the top. I have a new Threads address because for some reason or whatever, I woke up the other morning and they told me my Instagram and Threads account were suspended for no reason. And I'm seeing some other people there that are having the same thing happen. They're not being told why. Suddenly it comes back. Well, you have to have an Instagram account to have a Threads account. And so I went on one of my other Instagram accounts and created a new Threads account. So anyway, there's going to be a new account there. It's Jan Erickson 63. But anyway, that's in the list of where I'm at in that little box that opens. If you click on more below the video, you'll see all that. Don't know what I did. I never do anything, so I don't know what I could have done, but whatever. If they do it again, then I won't create another one. I'll just be off of both Instagram and, which I barely do anything to. I don't put stuff up. I don't even know why I have it, but I have them. I actually have two. And so I'm not even going to, I'll cancel the other one too. I'm not going to play this game. So anyway, I'm online, so I get information. That's all. And talk to people that I've talked to for a long time. So I don't want to lose touch with them, right? In all this chaos. So anyway, so that'll be on. I'll fix that when I put this up. I'll fix the notes part and have that as my as a link to that. So the new one. Anyway, I don't know why I bother. But anyway, thanks again for watching, and come back again on Thursday for another edition of As Above, So Below. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.